Sometimes taking a step back is the best thing you can do. Picture this: every good painting needs room to be seen fully, and the same is true for your absence. Make a picture of something mysterious and valuable for her. This isn't a game. Giving her time to think about what she misses when you're not there is important. In today's guide, we look at a Stoic principle from ancient times that is surprisingly useful in current relationships. Find out 10 strong ways to get good at this art of subtle withdrawal, showing you how to balance being there and not being there, so every time she sees you, she looks forward to it. Thinks we're not calling for cold indifference or ghosting, but a measured step back that makes things more intense. This approach is about making an allure that interests her and draws her in. That makes you irresistible, going from being taken for granted to being truly loved. Want to learn how to be less of the guy who's always open and more of the stay with me until the end enigma as we figure out these methods together. If you want to hear more wise words like this, please like, follow, and hit clicking on the bell icon to stay up to date. Center shifting your attention from negative thoughts or distractions to more productive or positive things is a powerful method called redirecting your focus. You can be more productive, feel less stressed, and be healthier generally if you learn this skill. Shifting your attention to something else can help you stay on track with your goals and keep your mind in check, whether you're working on yourself, your relationships, or your career. Recognize distractions. Write down the things that usually take your attention away, like social media, bad thoughts, or noise in the surroundings. Set specific goals. Making clear specific goals will help you stay on track by giving your mind a clear target to focus on. Use mindfulness methods, such as deep breathing or meditation, to bring your attention back to the present moment when your thoughts wander. Break jobs down into smaller steps. To stay focused and avoid feeling overwhelmed, break down big jobs into smaller steps that you can handle. Use positive affirmations. To change your mental energy to a more upbeat state, replace negative thoughts with positive affirmations. Don't do too many things at once. Focus on one thing at a time to get better work done and avoid getting mentally tired from moving between things. Management of the environment. Make a good place to work by getting rid of things that can confuse you, like noise or clutter. Scheduled breaks. Take short breaks every so often to keep from getting burned out and to help you focus better when you get back to work. Vision boards and sticky notes are great ways to keep your eyes on your goals and keep your mind on what's most important. Reflect and adjust. Check in with yourself often to see where your attention is going and make any changes that are needed to stay on track with your goals. Think about this. If you're always going around her offering loyal pay attention, you're like a movie that's been shown over and over again. The worth of being self-sufficient and independent isn't just for peace of mind, but also to keep people interested and respecting you. Here's the truth. If you're always available, you might get lost in the background. How can she miss you if you're always there? Don't give her a chance. Imagine that you used to spend your nights checking your phone for her texts and being ready to answer at any time. At any time. Instead, start committing those evenings to your. She doesn't answer her texts when she's busy with friends or hobbies. Right away, give it some time. You're not ignoring her. You're just putting other things ahead of hers, your interests, and show that your life is full. And plan for this change in behavior demonstrates the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can change about your actions and goals instead of. She'll see this over time if she keeps focusing on outside approval. Shift. If you don't answer right away, she might start to wonder what you're doing, which makes you more interesting. This isn't about games. It's about living a real life. That looks good because it's full and balanced, instead of chasing her. Talking all the time, liking every picture, and showing up at every request and call practice control. This isn't about being mean or cold. It's about setting a healthy, dynamic stoicism. Isn't about hiding how you feel. It has to do with how you handle them. When you flood someone with, if they get too much attention, they might feel like they're suffocating from too much attention. With too many demands they're not ready to meet, this can cause them to, as you become less interested, as you become a sure thing, a game already won at no real stakes. The Stoic way to deal with this is to focus on yourself and really connect with your own life, should support your hobbies and show that the rest of the world doesn't turn completely around her. This isn't a trick, it's a real change. To grow as a person and get better by taking on the stern personality, the idea of living by your values without desperately needing approval from other people. You naturally become more interesting and desirable by putting your own growth first. You quietly send the message that you're not just waiting for her to love you. You're actively involved in a satisfying relationship. This change in focus may be good for you, but it may also bother her, as she sees your independence and feels attracted to you. In the end, having faith that the best way to get someone's attention is to build a life where you don't need their attention to feel like you're valuable. Stoicism teaches that real strength comes from inside, from a calm mind. Number 2. The fantasy of confidence that doesn't need approval from other people to feel whole. Scarcity. Let's look at a common mistake that a lot of guys make. The belief that one woman is the best thing the world has to give. This having an attitude based on scarcity is a surefire way to fail when it's normal to start to see her as the only alternative, because you're afraid, fear of losing her, fear of not being enough, or we learn about the fear that she might find someone better in Stoicism, how important it is to be in charge of what we can control, like our acts, thoughts, and our reactions. When you act out of fear, you give up power. Having this way of thinking makes you feel like a doll that your worries can move. Putting up with disrespect, small amounts of care, and finally less than you deserve. If you show signs of despair, think about this. It's clear that women, like everyone else, can tell when someone values them. They don't value themselves enough and rely too much on other people to validate them. When she thinks you need her more than she needs you, things change. You're then seen not as a possible partner but as a threat, which is not good for you. Someone who doesn't believe in themselves or is desperate, and once that picture is set, any attraction she worry you may have had can quickly go away if you're already working on improving yourself by, as we talked about in the last step, becoming the best version of yourself it is important to broaden your view. The world is full of possibilities. Engage with other people. There are lots of women out there who are easy for you to get in touch with. To have a healthy connection, you need to get rid of the scarcity mindset and instead focus on, think of plenty. Remember that the Stoics try to see the world as it really is, giving people chances to make real relationships instead of focusing on what is missing. By doing that, you become more beautiful, not because you're chasing someone, but because you are a grounded, self-sufficient person who decides to interact with others from a place of be strong and sure of yourself, not desperate. So friends, open your eyes to the plenty around you as you build a stronger sense of who you are and a genuine respect for the variety of as you enjoy the people and things that life has to offer. You'll not only stop someone out of fear, but you might find that they start running toward you because they are drawn to the very quality you've worked on. Number 3. Don't look for praise on social. It's easy to get into bad habits on social media sites. Harmless, but they show more about our plans than we'd like. Think about this. You think you're keeping your distance from her, showing you don't care about her, but every time she posts something on Instagram, you're be the first to see her stories, like her photos, and maybe even leave a note. This behavior doesn't help. It shows that you're desperate and ready for any small win. Recognition from her. From a Stoic point of view, wisdom comes from knowing and controlling our urges. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have control over your mind, not over the outside world." Events know this, and you'll be stronger if you use it on social media, meaning to be careful. Every like or review you leave is a sign, letting you know I'm watching, waiting, and here for you whenever you need help is rather than the detachment you want to show. Think about it this way. Her stories, as soon as she posts them, you're not showing that you don't care. Stoicism teaches us that freedom comes from our being able to control how we react to outside events. In terms of attraction, mystery and a little uncertainty are much more interesting than obvious desire. Women like all of these things. People are more interested in people who show depth and independence than those who show. If you want to really take a serious approach to social media, start by limiting your contacts if you can. Stop the automatic comments and likes. Show that your world is big and full of things you're interested in by skipping her stories. Besides what she does on social media, This change in how you use technology will make her curious, and she will start to worry about your absence and wonder if your hobbies have changed or if someone else has taken your pay attention. The fact that you aren't getting your normal digital validation makes room for her to. She may truly feel that your absence shows a change in your attention, which could lead her to, I value your presence more when you're not always available, like uncertainty leads to intrigue, which makes her think about you more and may even make her look for you. Trying to figure out what kind of mystery you've become by not being there all the time, she sees you as the epitome of self-control and independence in her digital life. Next time you feel the urge to show that you are not just a viewer, but someone with a full and interesting life, if you feel the desire to respond to her posts, stop, think, and ask yourself what your actions show what you believe in and how they match up with the IC practice of self-mastery. When you choose to step back, you move up from an inactive to an active state, follower to someone worth following. This change can fundamentally change the dynamics between you and them so that the chase goes your way. If you made it this far and found this movie useful, please let us know by dropping us a line. Below that says, "No more seeking approval to let us know how this content is doing," has struck a chord with you. Your feedback is very important to us, and it helps us make even more useful content. Your help. Let's move on to number 4. Let her miss you. Letting her miss you comes from understanding how desire works and how to keep a relationship healthy. It means giving your partner enough time and space to enjoy being with you, which creates hunger and desire. By finding a balance between being together and being yourself, this method can help you and your partner grow closer. Set some space. Take some time apart so that each of you can do things that interest you. This space helps keep things mysterious and separate. Limit communication. Don't answer the phone all the time. Sometimes taking a break from talking to you can make her more eager to hear from you again. Focus on personal growth. Do things like work, hobbies, and getting better at yourself that take time. Being sure of yourself and able to take care of yourself makes you more beautiful. Be unpredictable. Don't be too routine or predictable in what you do. Being able to act on the spot can make the relationship interesting. Enjoy your time together. When you do get to spend time with each other, make it count and remember it. Quality over number makes the time spent together more valuable. Let her miss you. Give her time to miss you and let her reach out to you too. This shows how much she values having you in her life. Don't text or call too much. Resist the urge to check in all the time. To make her miss you, give her time and room to think about you. It's important to show that you're sure of yourself in the relationship. Being sure of yourself and having confidence are beautiful qualities that will make her enjoy being with you more. This method isn't about playing games. It's about making sure that each partner stays true to themselves while building a strong and healthy relationship. Are you the type of guy who thinks she needs to see and be able to reach you all the time, like a loyal dog waiting by the door? If so, let's change that idea. According to the wisdom of Stoicism, the Stoics teach us a powerful lesson about the value of being present and being absent. Everything has value, and worth is often raised when something is scarce. Really think about it. Why would she miss you if you're always there? It's natural to think that someone is always available and only a word or call away. Take for granted what is easy to get to. So if you want to change the dynamics, think about becoming more stoic to find connection. Start by pulling back a little, but don't go all the way out. Not out of anger, but to give yourself room and freedom. When you start to feel less, your availability might confuse her at first. She might even think you're... At this point, it's important to remember that it's not about playing games, it's about getting involved in your own life again. As you take a step back, she'll start to notice. The change and the lack of your steady attention that used to fill her days will start to echo. This isn't about ignoring her, it's about showing respect for both of you. When you become yourself, people naturally like what is harder to get. Less common presence, not because you want to control people, but because you are real. Putting time into your own hobbies, interests, and personal goals. She starts to wonder where you are, not because of what she thinks, but because you're hard to find. But that's because you're living your life. Not just This makes her mysterious and interesting, but not in a game-like way. If you're really working on yourself, you're not going away, you're changing. Being away from her isn't meant to hurt her, it's to help you grow, which is naturally a good thing. Beautiful as she sees how your life is improving, her desire to be a part of it grows. She's no longer chasing a shadow, but is drawn to someone who is really into the art of living a basic Stoic pursuit. So when she reaches out, she's drawn to the real improvement of your life. You're not being hard to get, she's just realizing what your presence is really worth, which, like all rare things, has become valuable. So don't make her miss you by disappearing. Instead, get her interested in that your presence in their lives is seen as a gift rather than a given. This is the quiet way. When she finally catches up, finding balance and building mutual respect through real personal growth, she'll be after both the man she thought she knew and the man you have. If you want to be number 5, don't show desperation in the realm of Stoicism. There is a strong idea that fits well with how we should act with each other, especially when it comes to the romantic pursuit of the idea of not caring about things we can't change, like another person's love or attention. This is where many fail because they act too quickly to compare it to a dog waiting for its next meal. Imagine this. A woman texts you or interacts with your social media, and your first instinct is to respond with them. At first glance, this may seem like a nice way to return the favor, but it can often lead to being seen as too available and too quick to respond. Remember what Stoicism tells us: to value our independence and not let outside approvals change how much people naturally value what is scarce. This is not just a market theory, it's also how people think. Making yourself less open is a way to embody the Stoic ideal of self-sufficiency. You're not just responding to what she does, while doing your own things, you might be reading a new book that makes you think about things in a new way. Going climbing with friends and pushing your body to its limits, or setting aside time to a personal project that sparks your interest. These things make your life better. Life and build your character by following the basic rules of Stoicism as you grow this rich. And if you live a self-directed life, your intermittent availability will become a normal result, not a strategy you made up. The mystery that comes up as a result of this method isn't about playing games. It's a direct mirror of living a full life. Stoic ideals like wisdom and temperance say that you are not someone else's shadow, but a figure you made for yourself. Never stays the same, and always learns when she sees this change that your attention, not as certain as it used to be, she will probably feel empty. This isn't the inner place where she won't feel ignored and can enjoy your company and the value it brings to her life. She starts to, since this lesson is about how to teach, we miss the depth and interest you brought when it was everywhere. A basic Stoic practice that will help you grow your inner riches so deeply that your outside access will be a gift, not a given. Make her feel the weight of it, of your absence in a subtle way, and let her know how important your presence is to her quest to get back together with you. So if she does reach out, it will be her, not you, who is looking for her. Takes into account the unique value you bring by being yourself. If you made it this far and liked the video, please let us know. You leave a comment below saying you won't be able to let us know how this goes. Content that spoke to you. Your opinion is very important to us and helps us make. Now let's go back and look at even more helpful information. Number 6. Put her out of the way and look into a Stoic way to deal with love pursuits while keeping a high level of decorum. The Stoics teach us that being self-sufficient and not being too attached are important, connected to results, which is important in relationships. Think about the situation in which a man is always open and ready to take care of all of her needs, which makes her feel like she's being taken advantage of. She saw him as a fixed part of her life, just like the furniture in her living room. So why would she feel she feels obligated to invest in something she thinks is already hers? Being silent will change things if you show her you have your own life. With her interests and goals, you're not just another part in her story. You're a story yourself. This change adds a bit of mystery, and she's used to men who are honest and lay all their cards on the table. But you're different. Like a book with blank pages, she can't wait to find them. Like picture, you like to walk a lot, and don't like to change your plans on the weekends. You go on your walk to spend time with her. You share a few scenic not to make her feel left out, but to show that you're interested in this. Casualness about your own life hints that your world doesn't center around you. This freedom can make her curious about the people around her. Wanting to be silent and detached doesn't mean you have to be cold or rude. It means knowing how important your presence and love are to them, and controlling their stoicism teaches us to focus on the things we can change, like our deeds. You get our attention by not being at her beck and call all the time. This isn't a game, it's about valuing yourself and your time. You, which will earn her respect when she sees that you're not that there's a real chance she could lose you to someone who sees how valuable you are. Starts to see you in a different way now that you're a challenge and a peak she's driven to climb. All of a sudden, the situation changes. She goes from being relaxed to taking action from, in conclusion, use what you know about Stoic concepts, to go from lack of interest to desire. To make your friendship healthier and more balanced, let her come see you as a person of substance is someone who has a full and interesting life. This method not only makes you more attractive with or without her, also lays the groundwork for mutual respect and hard work. Norm number 7, punishment. Think about a time when the woman treats you badly, often by being quiet or standing you up over and over again without a word. On second thought, that kind of action shows a clear lack of respect for your worth. Stoic philosophy says that you are clearly crossing the line of respect. Reacting out of fear of losing her or desperately trying to make things right only lowers your own worth and encourages her rudeness if you keep letting it happen. If you don't set limits for this behavior, you teach her that she can hurt you without getting in trouble for it. This not only erodes any respect she may have had for you, but it also gets in the way of building a real relationship. Connection turns into a bad loop where she sets the rules and you have to follow them. Because you're afraid of losing, you give in, turning yourself into nothing more than a choice. The Stoic reaction to this kind of disrespect isn't about getting back at them. Or IC removal isn't about making trouble, it's about proving your worth. Stoics choose to back off when they are treated badly, not because they are mean. But this withdrawal is a quiet way for them to boost their self-respect. Proclamation. I know how valuable I am and I won't settle for less than I earn. It's not about cutting ties. It's about making it clear that you won't be treated that way. This is a bad way to deal with disrespect. Teach her through silence by cutting yourself off from her. You give her space to think about what she did and how valuable it was. You bring to the relationship this isn't punishment in the strict sense. It's a resetting. Relationships work best when both people respect each other. When you take a step back, you send a strong word that you care about yourself and respect yourself. To get the same respect, you give others. This method has perks, more than just making a friendship better. It also boosts your self-esteem as you say, I affirm to. Tell yourself that you deserve respect and shouldn't settle for less. This kind of self-esteem boosting action is also likely to be seen. It sets if she really cares about you, she will set an example for how other people in your life should treat you. Presence. Your absence will make her think about how she's acting. If she changes how she acts and shows real respect, the friendship can grow. If not on better terms, your choice to take a step back will have kept you from a one-sided friendship that could have made things worse for you. Number 8. Be the prize, not the hunter. Let's break it down if you 8. Don't be the hunter, be the prize. Find yourself always on the hunt, always ready and always trying to show how valuable you are. It's time to stop and think. Stoicism teaches us the worth of self-sufficiency and getting to know yourself. When you see yourself as the goal, things change. You should no longer try to validate her. Instead, she needs to earn your attention. To fully understand your worth, you must first fully accept your own value. About being cocky. It's about recognizing your own worth when you know your own worth, you don't have to look for acceptance. How others see you is affected by how you see yourself. People are naturally drawn to people who are sure of themselves and their abilities. Rest assured that if they don't see your worth, it's their mistake, not yours. Step 2. Live a full life based on what you value next. Make sure your life is full of your own goals and interests. As suggested by Stoic ideas, say that focusing on personal growth and ethics is the key to happiness. Instead of seeking approval from others, do things you enjoy. your work goals, and keep strong personal relationships. This makes you more attractive, active and powerful, because people see you as someone who is happy and comfortable on their own, someone who is desperately looking for a friend. Step 3. Set strong rules. Finally, set clear personal boundaries. This is what Stoicism tells us: to love ourselves enough to say no and leave a situation or avoid relationships that don't serve you. If someone doesn't see or value you, you're strong enough to leave them. You should take yourself out of that situation and think of yourself as a prize that is hard to get. Unique and rare treasure. If she doesn't want to lose you, let her. Make her see the unique worth she's missing by positioning yourself as you go from feeling needy to feeling confident, which is the win. When you stop trying to get people to come to you, you become like if you want to be a bright and powerful light. Be careful about who you let into your, don't make your life easy or open all the time. Instead, be like the lion king of its territory, is proud and sure, and he doesn't chase after other animals but naturally demands respect. Number 9. Don't rush your getting together. When you jump into a relationship too quickly, it can often lead to confusion, unmet expectations, and stress. A healthy and happy relationship starts with taking the time to really get to know your partner, trusting each other, and knowing what the other person needs. If you resist the urge to rush, you can build a stronger relationship and achieve long-term success. Build a strong base. Make sure you can trust, talk to, and value each other before moving the relationship forward. Figure out what the other person wants. Talk about and agree on your future values, goals, and standards. Slow down the emotional connection. Don't push for a deeper relationship too soon. Let it happen naturally. Avoid pressure. Don't let friends, family, or society's expectations of you affect how fast you grow together. Openly talk to each other. Make sure that both people are on the same page about the relationship's pace and direction. Focus on personal growth. Keep putting money into your own growth along with the growth of your relationships. Read the red flags. Look out for any signs of problems or mismatch and deal with them as soon as possible. Take your time. Don't rush through the process of getting to know each other. Enjoy the ride. Space and time. Give the partnership room to breathe and time to grow on its own. Regularly reassess. Make sure you and your partner are both happy with the pace of your relationship by checking in with each other every so often. A connection that is carefully cared for and grown over time will be stronger and last longer. By not being in a hurry, both people can grow as individuals and as a couple, which sets the stage for a long relationship. Imagine that you're always with her and that she thinks that your presence is enough. We'll win her heart, but let's take a moment to think about how she should miss you. As the Stoics said, everything has its place if you're always there. In Stoicism, there's a trust in time, space, and your presence in her life. When you're always present, you might become too much of a nuisance. It's boring and easy to guess, like when you play the same song over and over again. Since she already knows how valuable you are, you're not letting her enjoy the moment until it stops working. You're always just a call or text away. If you want to know what the why is, it's true that sometimes less is more. Now, when I say you should don't pay attention to her, I don't mean be rude or distant. I mean make room for her, which she can use to think about your absence and see how much you are valued. Stoics thought that you should focus on the things that you can control. You can change how you think and what you say, but not how she feels. You need to find the right balance between being open and not being available too much, where people will miss you and value your presence. This isn't not about playing games, but about learning to value yourself and your time more. Think about a time when you were really excited about something, like your job, a hobby, or your own growth. You were so focused on your pursuits that you automatically opened up less. What happened? It's likely that people noticed you weren't there and may have even reached out to you. Find out more because they enjoyed the time they spent with you. This is it. If you want to make your relationships better, you need to pay attention to your own life, your hobbies, your passions, and goals. When you're really busy living a full life, she will easily do it for you. People will notice when you're not around. You're no longer the guy who's always there. Guys with their own lives that she has to work hard to be with, this not. Not only does it make you more beautiful, but it also keeps the relationship healthy by not rushing, or by avoiding constant contact and letting the relationship breathe. You start to see her. To not see you as someone who is always open, but as someone who has a goal, a direction, qualities that are very appealing. This is about building a quiet confidence that doesn't need to be affirmed all the time, or you need to show her that you're whole on your own. And if she wants to be a part of your life, she can. She wants to be her best self, so take a step back and think about what you can do. You have control over your deeds, your growth, and your happiness. Situation where she can chase after you and see you in a new way, with fresh interest. This isn't manipulation. It's about keeping your pride and building a strong connection, where everyone puts in a good effort and a real interest, and that's something to work for in life and in love. Number 10, keep your emotions in check. When it comes to personal growth and relationships, one of the most attractive traits you can work on is being emotionally stable. Doesn't mean you should lie about how you feel or act. Everything is always great. Instead, it means taking care of your feelings in a calm and thoughtful way. Stoicism is about keeping your emotions stable. Stoics think that you have choice over how you react to life's ups and downs. We can't always change what happens in the outside world, but we can change how we react to it. They say this method works really well in relationships and in everyday life. When someone is emotionally unstable, it can lead to confusion and fights. Steps you can take to become emotionally stable: self-awareness. Know what makes you feel bad and how you usually respond to it. By noticing these patterns, you can better control your reactions and keep them from taking over. For instance, if you know that stressful situations make you anxious, you can get ready for them by learning ways to calm down. Plan ahead for a second, to pause and think when you're in a tough position. Take a moment to think before you act. This stoic practice of thought will help you avoid acting on impulse, reactions, and reply with more thought. Picture a co-worker criticizes your work. Don't get angry. Instead, take a deep breath and think about what they said. Based on their feedback, and react calmly. Third, practice regulating your emotions. Use tools like deep breathing, meditation, or writing in a journal too. These things will help you keep your feelings in check and stay grounded. Stop emotional reactions. Like if you're feeling too stressed out, a few deep breathing for a few minutes can help you calm down. Fourth, communicate clearly. Talk about your thoughts and worries in a calm and helpful way. Good, clear conversation can help avoid problems before they happen. Escalation. If a misunderstanding happens, talk about it in an open and peaceful way. Fifth, seek to fix it instead of letting it fester. Advice. If you're having trouble with your emotions, get advice from. It is important to talk to friends, family, or a mental health expert about. Know that asking for help is a sign of power, not weakness. Stoicism tells us to know our limits and know when to look for help. Focusing on emotional support can help you keep your emotional health. When you're stable, you not only make yourself look better, you also help. It shows that you deal with problems with grace and respect, which leads to better, more peaceful relationships, building deeper, more important connections in the Stoic spirit. Remember that what makes us strong is not our feelings, but how we handle them. Thanks for coming with me today as we talked about the subtle power of planned absence, a timeless Stoicism through the art of nuanced communication. This knowledge is still very useful in modern relationships. We've learned how matching your presence and absence can change withdrawal, from the expected to the deeply desired. Understand that it's not about being hard to find, it's about making life better. Your life so much that just being there with you is a rare and valuable gift. I hope these thoughts encourage you to interact with others in a more balanced way, letting each relationship to become more excited and respectful of. This process isn't just about attracting. Pay attention. It's about becoming a person with depth and honesty. That if this movie has helped you in any way or given you new perspectives, you really can't say no. Please like it and think about joining to our channel if you want to see more videos like this one. Write your thoughts in the box below, or rate this movie by typing a number. A scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being the worst score and 5 being the best. Hi, your opinion is very helpful. Before you leave, please watch the The suggested videos that are now showing up on your screen were carefully chosen to help you learn more and get better. Get good at the art of living. Thanks for your time, and remember, in life, taking a step back can be the most important thing you can do.